The great crystal dome of Proxima Tertius stretched high above the Galactic Council chamber. Inside, representatives from 847 different species sat in circles that went up and up until they nearly touched the glowing ceiling. The air hummed with the sound of translation devices working in hundreds of languages. Tae-min stood at the center of it all, feeling very small. He wore Earth's best diplomatic uniform, dark blue with silver trim. Next to him stood Dr. Haya Jin, her hands full of data tablets about human science and culture. Commander Dongwu stood behind them both, his military uniform crisp and clean, his eyes moving constantly as he studied everything around them. This was humanity's first time in the Galactic Council. Earth had been discovered only 2 years ago when human radio signals finally reached alien listening posts. The discovery had caused excitement on Earth. Finally, humans were not alone in the universe. Finally, they could join the great community of intelligent species that ruled the stars. But the excitement had faded quickly. The first alien contact had been cold and businesslike. A small probe had arrived in Earth's solar system, scanned everything for 3 days, then left without saying much. The only message had been simple. Report to Proxima Tertius for evaluation. Now Tae-min understood why the message had been so cold. Looking around the chamber, he could see species that had traveled between stars for thousands of years. Some looked like tall, thin trees with silver bark. Others looked like walking crystals that changed color when they spoke. Still others were so strange that Tae-min could not tell which end was their head. Compared to all of this, humans looked very ordinary. Too ordinary. Council Prime Vextar rose from his throne at the top of the chamber. He was one of the Vorthak, an ancient species that looked like large insects made of gold metal. His voice echoed through every translation device at once. We gather today to decide the fate of the newest discovered species, the mammals from the third planet of the star. They call Sol. Tae-min stepped forward. He had practiced this speech for months. Honored council members, I am Ambassador Tae-min of Earth. We come here in peace and friendship. Humanity seeks only to join the galactic community and learn from our elder species. A sound like laughter came from many parts of the chamber. But it was not friendly laughter. One of the crystal beings spoke up. What can mammals possibly teach us? They still fight wars on their single planet? Dr. Hai-jin held up her data tablets. We have made great advances in science and technology. In just the last century, we have learned to fly, split the atom, and reach our moon. We have art, music, literature, and mathematics. We have much to offer. This time the laughter was louder. A tree-like being spoke in a voice like wind through leaves. In just 1 century, we mastered spaceflight when your species was still living in caves. Your great advances are things we learned to do millions of years ago. Council Prime Vextar raised one of his metal arms for silence. The evaluation committee has studied the humans extensively. Our report is complete. A new voice spoke from high in the chamber. This one belonged to Admiral Krexidor of the Nexari Federation. The Nexari looked like tall, blue-skinned humans, but with 4 arms and eyes that glowed like stars. They were known as the greatest military force in the galaxy. The species calling itself humanity shows all the signs of a violent, unstable race, Admiral Krexidor said. They have fought over 20,000 wars in their recorded history. They cannot even unite their own planet under one government. They destroy their environment for short-term gain. They are exactly the kind of species that disrupts galactic peace. Tae-min felt his heart sink, but he tried again. Yes, we have had conflicts in our past, But we are learning. We are growing. We have not had a major war in 80 years. We are beginning to work together on global problems. 80 years, repeated another council member, this one looking like a floating jellyfish made of light. We have had peace for 80,000 years. Your species cannot even imagine true civilization. Dr. He Jin stepped forward. We may be young, but we learn quickly. We adapt. We solve problems in new ways. These traits could be valuable to the galactic community. Council Prime Vextar's metal head tilted slightly. New ways of solving problems. Yes, we have observed your methods. When faced with a challenge, humans typically respond with violence or destruction. When your scientists wanted to study the power of atoms, they built weapons. When you wanted to explore space, you first used rockets as weapons of war. That is in our past, Taemin said desperately. We are different now. Different? Admiral Krexdor stood up from his seat. Your planet currently has enough nuclear weapons to destroy all life on it several times over. You call this different? Commander Dong-Wu had been silent until now, but Taemin saw his jaw tighten. The military officer had been told to observe only, not to speak. But humans were being painted as monsters, and that was hard for any human to hear quietly. Council Prime Vextar spoke again. The committee has reached its decision. The species known as humanity represents a clear threat to galactic stability. They are violent, unpredictable, and technologically dangerous despite their current limitations. The chamber fell silent. Taemin could feel the weight of nearly 1,000 alien gazes upon him. Therefore, Council Prime Vexatar continued, humanity will be placed under Containment Protocol 7. Their solar system will be surrounded by a barrier field that will prevent any human vessel from traveling beyond the orbit of their fourth planet. No galactic species will be permitted to share advanced technology with humans. No trade relationships will be established. Humanity will be classified as a restricted development zone. Dr. Hyojin's data tablets slipped from her hands and clattered on the crystal floor. You're putting us in a cage, she whispered. We are protecting the galaxy from you, Admiral Krexdor said coldly, and perhaps protecting you from yourselves. In a few centuries, if your species learns to control its violent nature, we might reconsider. Taemin found his voice again. Please, we traveled so far to meet you. We dreamed of learning from you, of sharing knowledge, of building a better universe together. Dreams, said the jellyfish being. Another human failing. You dream instead of accepting reality. Council Prime Vextar raised his arm again. The vote will now be taken. All in favor of Containment Protocol 7 for the human species? Arms, tentacles, claws, and appendages that had no name rose throughout the chamber. The count was overwhelming. 823 species voted yes. Only 18 voted no, and 6 abstained. The decision is final, Council Prime, Vextar announced. The humans will return to their solar system immediately. The containment field will be activated within 72 hours. As the council session ended, Taemin, Dr. Hyojin, and Commander Dong-Wu were escorted back to their ship by Nexari guards. The walk was silent. There was nothing left to say. Their ship was small and primitive compared to the massive vessels around them. As they lifted off from Proxima Tertius, Dr. Hyojin stared out the window at the incredible alien city growing smaller below them. They think we're animals, she said quietly. Commander Dong-Wu was making notes on his personal device, recording everything he had seen. They think we're dangerous animals, he corrected. There's a difference. Taemin slumped in his seat. What difference does it make? We failed. Earth will be cut off from the galaxy forever. Dongwu looked up from his notes. His eyes were hard and focused. Not forever, Ambassador. Nothing is forever. As their ship crossed back into human space, a shimmering barrier of energy flickered to life behind them. The cage was now complete. Humanity was alone again, trapped in their own solar system by species that saw them as nothing more than violent primitives. But Commander Dongwu kept making his notes. He recorded the design of every alien ship he had seen. He noted the locations of their weapons, their shield generators, their communication arrays. He studied the tactical formations of the Nexari fleet that had escorted them home. Because Dongwu was a soldier, and soldiers always prepared for the next battle, even when diplomats believed the war was already lost. 6 months had passed since the containment field went up around Earth's solar system. The energy barrier looked like a wall of blue light that stretched across space, cutting humanity off from the stars. No human ship could pass through it. No alien ship chose to come in. In the underground meeting room beneath Geneva, world leaders sat around a table that had never hosted a gathering quite like this one. For the first time in human history, every nation on Earth had put aside their differences for a single purpose. President Mi Young of the Pacific Coalition looked tired. She had been working 18-hour days since the diplomatic mission returned, with news of humanity's rejection. "The people are asking questions we cannot answer," she said. "They want to know why we are prisoners in our own solar system." General Jae Sung of the European Defense Union spread holographic displays across the table because the galaxy sees us as a threat. The question is, what do we do about it? "We prove them wrong," said Chancellor Raj of the African Federation. "We show them that humans can be peaceful, civilized, worthy of joining their community." General Jae-sung shook his head. "They had already decided what we were before they met us. Did you see the evaluation report? They studied us for years before first contact. They watched our wars, our weapons, our conflicts. They made up their minds long ago." Dr. Shung Ho, Earth's leading physicist, spoke up from his seat near the end of the table. "I have been studying the data that Commander Dongwu brought back from Proxima Tertius. The alien technologies are advanced, but they are not magic. They follow rules. Rules that can be understood, copied, and improved upon." President Mi Young leaned forward. "Improved upon?" "The aliens have had the same technology for thousands of years," Dr. Shung Ho explained. "They make small changes, tiny improvements. But they do not think about completely new ways of doing things. They are comfortable, safe, predictable." Engineer Kyung-soo pulled up his own displays. "Our industrial capacity is actually quite impressive by galactic standards. The aliens build slowly, carefully, with perfect quality. We build fast, cheap, and good enough. In a war of production, that matters." "War?" President Mi Young looked shocked. "We are talking about war?" General Jae-sung stood up and walked to the large screen showing the containment field. "They are the ones who declared war, Madam President. They just called it something else. They put us in a cage and told us we might be freed in a few centuries if we behave ourselves." Intelligence Director So Young had been quiet during the meeting, but now she spoke. "My people have been monitoring galactic communications. The aliens are not just ignoring us. They are planning our future without asking what we want." She activated her own display, showing intercepted alien messages. The Nexari Federation sees our solar system as valuable real estate. The Vorthak Empire wants our planet for mining rights. Several smaller species have already submitted claims for different parts of our territory. Claims? Chancellor Raj looked confused. Claims for what? For after they relocate us, So Young said quietly. The containment is not permanent. In 10 to 15 years, they plan to move all humans to a distant star system with no valuable resources. They will give us a few barren planets where we cannot cause trouble. Then they will divide up our solar system among themselves. The room fell silent. The weight of this news settled on everyone present like a heavy blanket. President Mi Young was the first to speak. They mean to steal our home. Yes, So Young confirmed. And they have done this before. 12 other species in the last 1,000 years. Species that were judged unfit for galactic society. Most of them died out within a few generations after being relocated. The few that survived became dependent on alien charity. General Jae Sung turned back to the table. So we have a choice. We can wait here quietly until they come to relocate us, or we can do something about it. Dr. Sung Ho pulled up technical diagrams of alien technology. I believe we can do something about it. Human science may be younger than theirs, but it is not weaker. We approach problems differently. We are willing to take risks they would never consider. Engineer Kyung-soo nodded enthusiastically. I have been working with Dr. Sung Ho's team. We can build things the aliens never imagined, not because we are smarter, but because we think differently. How differently? President Mi Young asked. Dr. Sung Ho smiled for the first time in months. The aliens have energy shields that stop physical objects, but what if we built weapons that exist in multiple dimensions at once? The aliens have communication systems that span the galaxy instantly. But what if we turn those same systems into weapons? The aliens build ships to last for centuries, Kyung-soo added. Beautiful, perfect, expensive ships. We could build ships that are designed to be expendable, repairable in battle, and producible by the thousands. Intelligence Director So Young leaned back in her chair. There is something else. The aliens have not fought a real war in thousands of years. Their military thinking is all theory and doctrine. They have forgotten how to adapt when the enemy does something unexpected. And humans, General Jae Sung said with a grim smile, are very good at doing unexpected things. President Mi Young looked around the table at all the faces staring back at her. Are we really talking about fighting the entire galaxy? No, said a new voice from the doorway. Commander Dongwu entered the room, followed by Ambassador Tae-min and Dr. Hai-jin. We are talking about fighting the parts of the galaxy that want to destroy us, and making allies of the parts that do not. Tae-min took a seat at the table. During our time at Proxima Tertius, we observed something interesting. Not all species supported our containment enthusiastically. Several smaller species seemed uncomfortable with the decision. Dr. Hai-jin nodded. The galaxy is not united. It is controlled by a few powerful species that make decisions for everyone else. Many smaller species are afraid to speak out. If we could prove that the powerful species are not invincible, Dongwu said, some of the smaller ones might join us, or at least refuse to fight against us. President Mi Young stood up and walked to the window. Outside, she could see the faint glow of the containment field in the night sky. What you are proposing is incredibly dangerous. If we fail, they will not just relocate us, they will destroy us completely. If we do nothing, General Jae Sung said, We will be destroyed, slowly instead of quickly. At least this way, we choose our own fate. Dr. Shung Ho spread his hands on the table. We have advantages they do not expect. Human creativity, adaptability, and willingness to take risks. We can build weapons and ships faster than they think possible. We can fight in ways they have never seen before. And, Intelligence Director So Young added, we can strike before they are ready. They think we are contained and helpless. They are not preparing for an attack. President Mi Young turned back to the table. How long would we need to prepare? 2 years, Dr. Shung Ho said immediately. 2 years to develop the technology, build the ships, and train the crews. 2 years to show them, General Jae Sung added, that caging humanity was the biggest mistake the galaxy ever made. President Mi Young looked at each person around the table. These were the leaders of Earth, the best and brightest humanity had to offer. If they could not save their species, no one could. Very well, she said finally. We will not go quietly into the night. If the galaxy wants to treat us like dangerous animals, then perhaps it is time we showed them just how dangerous we can be. The meeting lasted another 6 hours as they planned humanity's future. Outside, the containment field continued to glow, a constant reminder of the prison the aliens had built around Earth. But inside the meeting room, something new was being born. The galaxy had tried to contain human ambition, human creativity, human independence. They thought they had succeeded. They were about to learn that containing humanity was like trying to contain a nuclear explosion with a paper bag. The countdown to Earth's retaliation had begun. 2 years had passed since the world leaders met in Geneva. Earth looked very different now. Where once there had been separate nations with separate militaries, there was now a single unified command structure. Where once there had been competing space programs, there was now a massive industrial complex that stretched from Earth to the asteroid belt. Admiral Hyun Woo stood on the command deck of the newly completed shipyard in Earth orbit. Through the massive windows he could see dozens of ships under construction. They did not look like the elegant alien vessels that humanity had seen at Proxima Tertius. These ships were built for war. Report, he said to Captain Dalsu, his chief of operations. 72 combat vessels completed and ready for deployment, Dalsu replied. Another 48 in final stages of construction. All crews have completed training. The ships were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. They were built using human principles of warfare, redundancy, speed, and adaptability. Every critical system had backups. Every weapon could be repaired or replaced during battle. Every ship could operate independently or as part of a larger fleet. Most importantly, they were built to be expendable. The aliens built ships to last for centuries. Humans built ships to win battles, even if they were destroyed in the process. Dr. Minacio entered the command deck carrying a secure data tablet. She was the lead scientist on humanity's most secret project. Admiral, the quantum phase weapons are ready for field testing. Admiral Hyunwoo nodded. Show me. Dr. Minacio activated a holographic display that showed the technical specifications of her invention. Alien energy shields work by deflecting or absorbing incoming energy and matter. But what if a weapon exists in multiple dimensions at the same time? The display showed a weapon firing at a shielded target. Instead of being stopped by the shield, the weapon passed through it as if it was not there. The weapon exists in our normal space-time, but also in parallel quantum dimensions, Dr. Minacio explained. The shield can only protect against things that exist entirely in normal space. It cannot stop something that is spread across multiple realities. Engineer Wu Jin stepped forward. He had been working on the manufacturing side of the project. We can now produce these weapons faster than the aliens can build shields. Our automated factories can turn out a complete weapon system every 6 hours. Admiral Hyunwoo studied the display. What about defenses? Can the aliens adapt to this technology? Eventually, Dr. Minseo admitted, but it would require them to completely rebuild their understanding of physics. That could take them decades or centuries. They think in terms of gradual improvement, not revolutionary change. Captain Ji-won entered the command deck. She was one of Intelligence Director, So Young's best officers, and she had been working on infiltrating galactic communication networks for the past year. Admiral, we have new intelligence on galactic military movements, she reported. The Nexari Federation is preparing a major fleet exercise in 3 months. All of their primary battle groups will be participating. How big? Admiral Hyun-woo asked. Over 2,000 ships, Ji-won replied, including their command vessels and most experienced crews. It will be the largest gathering of Nexari military power in 50 years. Admiral Hyun-woo exchanged glances with Dr. Minseo. And the purpose of this exercise? Officially, it is routine training, Ji-won said. Unofficially, our sources indicate it is preparation for the human relocation operation. They want to make sure their fleet is ready in case humans resist the move. Dr. Yoon-soo, the xenopsychologist who had been studying alien behavior, spoke up from her workstation. This fits the pattern we have observed. The Nexari believe that overwhelming force prevents conflict. They think that if they show up with enough ships, humans will surrender without fighting. They still do not understand us, Admiral Hyun-woo said. Good. Let them keep thinking we are weak. Engineer Wu Jin pulled up production schedules on his tablet. If we accelerate manufacturing, we can have 150 combat-ready ships by the time of their exercise, plus support vessels and supply ships. Do it, Admiral Hyun-woo ordered. How are the Special Forces training programs progressing? Commander Sung-min stepped forward. He had been leading the development of humanity's deep strike capabilities. The first units are ready for deployment, Admiral. We have trained teams that can operate behind enemy lines using captured alien technology. He activated a display showing soldiers in advanced armor. The key is adaptability. Instead of training for specific scenarios, we teach our people to analyze and adapt to any situation. When they encounter unknown alien technology, they can figure out how to use it or destroy it. And they can do this while under fire? Admiral Hyun-woo asked. Human soldiers have been adapting under fire for thousands of years, Commander Sung-min replied with confidence. The aliens have not fought a real war in millennia. Their soldiers follow doctrine and procedures. Ours think and improvise. Captain Hayrin approached from the communications station. She commanded the hidden observation post on Europa that monitored alien activity near Earth. Admiral, we are detecting increased Nexari scout ships near the containment barrier. They appear to be testing our defenses. Testing them how? Passive scans mostly, Hayrin replied. But yesterday they sent a probe through the barrier. It scanned our space for 12 hours before leaving. Dr. Yoon-soo looked up from her psychological profiles. This is concerning. The Nexari are naturally cautious. If they are probing our defenses now, they may be moving their timeline forward. Intelligence Officer Ji-won confirmed this fear. Our intercepted communications suggest the Nexari leadership is becoming impatient. Some of their admirals want to begin the relocation operation early. Admiral Hyun-woo walked to the window and looked out at the bustling shipyard. Thousands of humans were working around the clock to build the fleet that would defend their species. They were welders, engineers, computer programmers, and pilots. None of them had wanted to be warriors, but the galaxy had given them no choice. "What is the status of our intelligence networks inside alien space?" he asked. Captain Jiwan consulted her secure tablet. "We now have monitoring stations in 7 star systems, small stealthed platforms that can intercept communications and track ship movements. The aliens have not detected any of them." "And the psychological warfare preparations?" Dr. Yunsu smiled grimly. "We have complete profiles on the major alien species. We know their fears, their weaknesses, their cultural blind spots. When we attack, it will not just be a military strike. It will be designed to cause maximum psychological damage to their leadership." Engineer Wu Jin was reviewing supply chains on his tablet. "The asteroid mining operations are exceeding projections. We have enough raw materials to sustain military operations for at least 2 years, assuming moderate losses." "Define moderate losses," Admiral Hyunwoo said. 50% of our initial fleet," Wu Jin replied without hesitation. "But that assumes we cannot capture and reverse engineer alien technology during combat operations." Commander Sungmin nodded. "Our special forces are specifically trained to capture alien ships and equipment. Every successful boarding action gives us new technology to study and reproduce." Dr. Min Seo was working on her tablet, running calculations. "If we can capture even one Nexari capital ship, we could reverse engineer their shield technology and develop countermeasures for their weapons. The key," Dr. Yunsu added, "is that the aliens will not expect us to learn and adapt during battle. They think in terms of fixed capabilities. They will assume that whatever technology they have at the start of a battle is what they will have at the end." Admiral Hyunwoo turned back to his staff. "And they will be wrong, because humans do not just adapt to survive. We adapt to win." Captain Dalsu was monitoring fleet readiness reports. "Admiral, Captain Taiwan is requesting permission to begin advanced training exercises with the Ghost Fleet." The Ghost Fleet was humanity's most secret weapon. Ships that used quantum phase technology to become nearly invisible and intangible. They could appear anywhere, strike without warning, and disappear before the enemy could respond. "Permission granted," Admiral Hyunwoo said. "But keep them well inside the containment barrier. We do not want the aliens to know what we are capable of until we are ready to show them." Intelligence Director So Young entered the command deck. She had been coordinating the overall intelligence effort from her facility on the moon. "Admiral, we have confirmed intelligence that the galactic vote on human relocation has been moved up. Instead of 10 years, they now plan to begin the operation in 18 months. The command deck fell silent. 18 months was not much time. Then, "We will be ready in 18 months, Admiral Hyunwoo said firmly. "Accelerate all programs. Increase production schedules. Begin final preparations." He looked around at the faces of his staff. These people had worked tirelessly for 2 years to give humanity a fighting chance. Soon their work would be tested in the fires of war. "The aliens think they can relocate us like cattle," he said. "They think we will go quietly to whatever barren worlds they have chosen for us. They think containment has made us helpless." "Admiral," Hyunwoo gestured toward the growing fleet outside the window. "When they arrive to relocate us, they will discover that containment." The research station on Titan had been humanity's pride for the past year. Dr. Young Soo and his team of 300 scientists worked there studying captured alien technology and developing peaceful applications for quantum physics. They believed They were building a better future for humanity's eventual integration into galactic society. Captain Hayrin watched the research station through the sensors of her hidden observation post on Europa. Her orders were simple: monitor all alien activity near Earth and report anything unusual. For months, there had been nothing unusual. Nexari scout ships came and went, always staying outside the containment barrier, always following predictable patterns. Today was different. "Captain," her sensor operator called out, "I am reading 12 Nexari ships approaching the barrier. That is more than we have ever seen at once." Hayrin moved to the main display. The Nexari ships were in formation, moving with military precision. "What is their approach vector?" "They appear to be heading directly for the Titan research station." Hayrin felt a chill run down her spine. The research station was clearly marked as a civilian facility. It had no weapons, no military purpose. It was protected by interstellar law, even within the containment zone. "Open a channel to the Nexari formation," she ordered. The blue-skinned face of a Nexari officer appeared on the screen. His forearms moved in what Hayrin had learned was a gesture of authority. "This is Commander Zekval of the Nexari Federation. You will identify yourself. This is Captain Hayrin of the Terran Observation Post Europa 1. You are approaching a clearly marked civilian research facility. Please state your intentions." The Nexari commander's glowing eyes narrowed. "The facility is engaged in illegal weapons research in violation of containment protocols. We are authorized to conduct enforcement action." Hayrin felt her heart stop. "Commander, the Titan facility is conducting purely peaceful research. All of their work has been documented and transmitted to galactic authorities as required. Your transmissions have been intercepted and analyzed," the Nexari replied coldly. "The humans are developing quantum phase technology for military applications. This constitutes a breach of containment." The accusation was technically true, but the research on Titan was not weapons research. Dr. Young Su's team was studying quantum physics to better understand alien technology. Any military applications were being developed elsewhere, in secret. Facilities the aliens knew nothing about. "Commander, I request that you allow our people to evacuate the station before you proceed," Hayrin said desperately. "There are 300 civilians on that facility." "Negative. Evacuation would allow the destruction of evidence. All personnel will be detained for interrogation." The Nexari ships began moving toward Titan. Hayrin knew she had to warn the research station, but she also knew it was too late. The Nexari ships were faster than anything the research station had. "Dr. Youngsu, this is Europa Base," she transmitted on emergency frequencies. "Nexari ships are approaching your position. With hostile intent. Evacuate immediately." The response came back within seconds. "Captain Hayrin, we are reading the approaching ships. We are a civilian facility. Surely they will not attack us." Hayrin wished she shared his optimism, but her military training told her otherwise. "Doctor, you need to evacuate now. Do not wait to gather research materials. Get your people to the escape pods immediately." Through her sensors, Hayrin watched the Nexari formation surround the research station. The lead ship was broadcasting on all frequencies, ordering the humans to surrender and prepare for boarding. Dr. Youngsu's voice came over the emergency channel again. "Captain, we are beginning evacuation procedures, but it will take at least 30 minutes to get everyone to the escape pods." The Nexari ships did not give them 30 minutes. "This is Commander Zekval," the alien voice broadcast across all human frequencies. "The human facility has refused to surrender. We are authorized to use force to prevent the destruction of evidence." "Wait!" Hayrin shouted into her transmitter. "They are evacuating! Give them time!" But the Nexari commander had already given his orders. The lead Nexari ship fired a single missile at the research station's reactor core. The explosion lit up space for thousands of kilometers. When the light faded, the Titan research station was gone. 300 humans had died instantly. Dr. Young-Soo, who had dedicated his life to peaceful research and understanding, was among them. Captain Hayrin stared at the empty space where the station had been. Her hands were shaking as she activated the emergency communication system that would alert Admiral Yun-Woo and Earth Command. "Europa base to Earth Control," she transmitted. "The Nexari have destroyed the Titan research station. All hands lost. I repeat, Titan research station has been destroyed with all hands." The response from Earth came within minutes. Admiral Hyun-Woo's voice was carefully controlled, but Hayrin could hear the anger underneath. "Captain Hayrin, did the Nexari give any warning? Did they attempt to negotiate?" "Negative, Admiral. They claimed the station was developing weapons and ordered surrender. When the civilians tried to evacuate, they destroyed the facility to prevent evidence destruction." There was a long pause before Admiral Hyun-Woo responded. "Understood, Captain. Maintain your position and continue monitoring. Report any further alien activity immediately." On Earth, Intelligence Director So Young was already analyzing intercepted Nexari communications. What she found made the situation even worse. "The attack was deliberately provoked," she reported to President Mi-young and the Emergency Council. "Our intelligence networks intercepted the original Nexari orders. They were told to find any excuse to attack human facilities and provoke a response." President Mi-young stared at the holographic display showing the destroyed research station. "Why would they want to provoke us?" General Jae-sung answered grimly. "Because they want to justify moving up their timeline for relocating us. If they can claim that humans are becoming militaristic and dangerous, they can authorize immediate enforcement action." "How immediate?" President Mi-young asked. Intelligence Director So Young pulled up classified Nexari fleet movements. "Based on intercepted communications, they are preparing to move a massive enforcement fleet to our solar system within 6 months. They plan to begin relocating humans to distant star systems immediately." Dr. Yoon-soo had been analyzing the psychological impact of the attack. "This was also designed to test our response. They want to see if we will fight back or submit. If we submit, they will know we are truly broken. If we fight back, they will use that as justification for complete suppression." President Mi-young walked to the window overlooking Geneva. In the distance, she could see the launching platforms where human ships were being prepared for deployment. 2 years of preparation were about to be put to the test. "Admiral Hyun-woo," she said into her communicator, "what is the status of our fleet?" 127 combat vessels ready for immediate deployment," came the reply. "Ghost, fleet operational. Special Forces teams prepared for deep strike missions. Quantum phase weapons tested and ready. And our chances of success?" There was a pause before Admiral Hyun-woo answered. "Unknown, Madam President. We have never tested our capabilities against a real enemy. But I can promise you this. If we are going to die, we will not die quietly." General Jae-sung stepped forward. "Madam President, I recommend we authorize Operation Silent Thunder immediately. The Nexari have given us all the justification we need." President Mi-young thought of Dr. Young-soo and the 300 scientists who had died simply for trying to understand the universe. She thought of the millions of humans who would be forcibly relocated to barren worlds where most would die. She thought of Earth itself, which would be divided up among alien species like a prize. The Nexari wanted to provoke a response, she said finally. They wanted to see if humans would fight when cornered. She turned to face the emergency council. I authorize Operation Silent Thunder. Show them what happens when you murder innocents and threaten Earth. Within hours, encrypted orders went out to every human military unit in the solar system. Admiral Hyun Woo's fleet began moving to attack positions. Commander Sung Min's special forces loaded into stealth ships. Dr. Min Seo's quantum phase weapons were armed and targeted. The galaxy had spent 3 years believing that containing humanity made them safe. They had convinced themselves that humans were primitive, violent, but ultimately controllable. They were about to learn that the most dangerous thing you can do to a cornered animal is to hurt something it cares about. The Nexari had killed Dr. Young Soo and his team to provoke humanity into doing something stupid. Instead, they had provoked humanity into doing something smart, coordinated, and utterly ruthless. The countdown to Earth's retaliation had reached 0. The galaxy was about to discover what 3 years of focused human anger could accomplish. At exactly 0800 GMT on what would later be called Liberation Day, humanity struck back at the galaxy that had caged them. The attack began simultaneously across 12 star systems, using ships and weapons that should not have existed and tactics that no galactic species had prepared for. Admiral Hyun Woo stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Terran Defiance, as it completed its quantum phase jump directly into the heart of the Proxima Tertius system. Around him, his crew worked with deadly efficiency, their faces calm despite the magnitude of what they were attempting. All ships report ready, Admiral, Captain Dalsu announced from the operations station. Through the main view screen, Hyun Woo could see the massive Galactic Council complex floating in space above the planet. The same crystal domes where humanity had been dismissed and sentenced to containment now lay directly ahead of them. Target the Council's defense grid, Hyun Woo ordered. I want their shields down in 60 seconds. Dr. Min Seo's quantum phase weapons fired first. The energy beams existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, passing through the aliens' energy shields as if they were not there. The Council's massive defense platforms began exploding one after another, their crews unable to understand why their defenses were useless. Meanwhile, in the Nexari home system, Commander Sung Min was leading humanity's first deep strike operation. His special forces teams had arrived in stealth ships that used quantum phase technology to remain invisible until the moment of attack. Team Alpha, breach the command station now, Sung Min ordered into his communicator as his soldiers emerged from dimensional hiding places inside the Nexari fleet headquarters. The Nexari soldiers were caught completely off guard. They had been trained to fight external threats, not enemies who could appear anywhere inside their most secure facilities. Sung Min's teams moved through the station like ghosts, disabling critical systems and capturing key personnel. Sir, we have Admiral Krexdor, reported Sergeant Hyo Jin over the comm. He was in the middle of planning the assault on Earth. Excellent, Sung Min replied. Make sure he gets a good look at human military efficiency before we extract him. 3 star systems away, Captain Dalsu was leading the assault on the Vorthak Empire's primary military shipyard. His fleet had materialized inside the shipyard's construction bays where the aliens were building their next generation of warships. Target the unfinished capital ships, Dalsu ordered. If we destroy them now, it will take the Vorthak decades to replace them. The human ships opened fire with quantum phase weapons, turning the Vorthak's pride and joy into expanding clouds of debris. The few completed alien ships that tried to respond found their weapons ineffective against human shield technology that had been reverse-engineered and improved upon. Back at Proxima Tertius, Admiral Hyun Woo's flagship was preparing for the most audacious part of the operation. The Terran Defiance used its quantum dimensional displacement system to materialize directly inside the Galactic Council chamber, its weapons trained on the assembled representatives of 847 species. The alien delegates panicked. Some tried to flee, others activated personal shields, and a few simply froze in shock. They had never seen anything like this before. The idea that an enemy ship could appear inside their most secure facility was beyond their comprehension. Captain Ji-Hai stepped forward in full battle armor, her voice amplified by the ship's communication system. "I am Captain Ji-Hai of the Terran Space Force. I bring a message from humanity to the Galactic Council. Council Prime Vextar, the golden insectoid who had pronounced humanity's sentence 3 years earlier, tried to maintain his authority. This is an outrageous violation of galactic law. You will withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Ji-Hai's laughter echoed through the chamber. "The consequences? You mean like having our research station destroyed and our people murdered? Like being threatened with forced relocation? Like being treated as animals in a zoo?" She gestured to the weapons trained on the council members. "The containment of Earth ends now. Humanity claims the right of expansion, trade, and self-determination. Any species that objects can negotiate with our fleet." On the planet below, Captain Taiwan's Ghost Fleet was systematically destroying every military installation on Proxima Tertius. The alien defenders could not target ships that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Their weapons passed harmlessly through the human vessels, while quantum-phase torpedoes reduced their bases to rubble. In the Nexari system, Commander Sungmin's teams had completed their primary objectives. The alien fleet headquarters was under human control, and key personnel were being extracted for interrogation. "All teams, begin Phase 2, Sungmin ordered. "Capture the shipyards and secure the research facilities." His soldiers moved with precision through the Nexari facilities. They had trained for this moment for 3 years, studying every detail of alien technology and military doctrine. The Nexari defenders found themselves facing opponents who knew their own systems better than they did. Engineer Wu Jin was monitoring the operation from his command ship. "Sir, we are successfully capturing intact alien vessels. Dr. Minsio's teams are already beginning reverse engineering procedures." The captured alien ships would provide humanity with even more advanced technology to study and improve upon. Every successful boarding action made Earth's forces stronger and more capable. Across the 12 target systems, human forces were achieving objectives that the galactic military had considered impossible. Ships appeared where they could not exist. Weapons penetrated defenses that should have been impregnable, and human soldiers operated with a coordination and adaptability that overwhelmed alien defenders. Captain Heirin, monitoring the operations from her post on Europa, was amazed by what she was seeing. "Intelligence Director So Young, the alien communication networks are in complete chaos. They have no idea how we are accomplishing these attacks." "Good," So Young replied from her command center on the moon. "Confusion is one of our greatest weapons. The longer they spend trying to understand what we are doing, the less time they have to organize an effective response." Dr. Yun Su was analyzing alien psychological responses to the attacks. "The impact is even greater than we predicted. Most galactic species have not experienced warfare in their lifetimes. This level of coordinated aggression is causing panic throughout their leadership." On Proxima Tertius, Admiral Hyun Woo received reports from all attack groups. Sir, all primary objectives have been achieved. Enemy military capabilities in the target systems have been neutralized. Casualty reports are minimal. Hyun Woo nodded with satisfaction. Human forces had struck 12 star systems simultaneously, destroyed or captured key military assets, and demonstrated technological capabilities that the galaxy did not know existed. All of this had been accomplished in less than 6 hours, with minimal human losses. The most important part of the operation, however, was the message it sent. For 3 years, the galaxy had assumed that containing humanity made them safe. They had believed that humans were primitive, violent, but ultimately controllable. The attacks proved them wrong on every count. Human technology was not primitive. It was revolutionary. Human violence was not random. It was precisely directed and devastatingly effective. And humans were not controllable. They were completely beyond the galaxy's ability to contain or predict. Captain Ji Hai addressed the cowering Galactic Council one final time. 3 years ago, you dismissed humanity as unworthy of joining galactic civilization. You put us in a cage and told us we might be freed if we learned to behave ourselves. She gestured toward the destruction visible through the chamber's crystal walls. Today you have learned that caging humanity was a mistake. We did not become weaker during our containment. We became focused. We became united. We became dangerous. The alien delegates listened in stunned silence as Ji Hai delivered humanity's ultimatum. The age of dismissal is over. Earth claims equal standing in galactic affairs. We seek neither domination nor submission. We demand recognition as sovereign, equals with rights of expansion, trade, and self-determination. Admiral Hyun-woo's voice came over the ship's communication system. Any species that cannot accept these terms may discover what containment truly means when it is imposed by those who understand warfare. As the human fleet withdrew from Proxima Tertius, they left behind a galaxy in shock. In 6 hours, humanity had demonstrated that they possessed the technology, the tactical skill, and the sheer audacity to strike anywhere in galactic space. Without warning, the containment field that had surrounded Earth's solar system flickered and died as human ships destroyed the generators that powered it. For the first time in 3 years, the way to the stars was open to humanity. But more importantly, the galaxy had learned a lesson that would reshape interstellar politics forever. Never underestimate a species that has nothing left to lose and everything to prove. The news of humanity's impossible attack spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Within hours, emergency sessions were convening on hundreds of worlds as species that had never known real fear tried to understand what had just happened to their ordered universe. On the crystal world of Nexari Prime, Admiral Krexdor sat in an emergency meeting with the Federation's highest command. His forearms gestured frantically as he tried to explain how humans had appeared inside their most secure military facilities. They materialized out of nothing, he said for the 5th time. Our sensors showed empty space. Then suddenly their soldiers were standing in our command centers. Our weapons could not lock onto them. Our shields could not stop them. General Vexilon, a veteran of a dozen border conflicts with minor species, studied the tactical reports with growing disbelief. This quantum phase technology you describe, it should not be possible. Our scientists have studied dimensional manipulation for thousands of years. The mathematics alone would require computational power beyond what humans possess. Admiral, Crextor activated a holographic display showing security footage from the captured headquarters. Human soldiers could be seen moving through Nexari facilities like ghosts, appearing and disappearing at will, their weapons striking targets that should have been protected by impenetrable shields. "The mathematics are clearly possible," Crextor said grimly. "The question is how they achieved them so quickly. 3 years ago, humans had barely mastered faster-than-light travel. Now they possess technology that makes our most advanced weapon systems obsolete." Intelligence Director Keldara had been analyzing captured human equipment. "I believe the humans did not simply advance their existing technology. They approached the problem from a completely different direction. Where we sought to improve what we already had, they invented entirely new principles. Meanwhile, Captain Taiwan's Ghost Fleet was conducting reconnaissance deep in alien space, gathering intelligence on the galaxy's response to humanity's attacks. His ships remained invisible to alien sensors, allowing them to observe military conferences and strategic planning sessions without being detected. "Captain Dalsu, this is Reconnaissance Unit 7, Taiwan transmitted to his commanding officer. "The Vorthak Empire is mobilizing their entire reserve fleet. They are calling up ships that have been in storage for centuries." Dalsu received the transmission at his position near the Proxima Tertius system, where he was monitoring the aftermath of the attack on the Galactic Council. "What is their estimated timeline for deployment?" The Vorthak moved slowly. Taiwan replied, "Their ships require extensive preparation before deployment. We estimate at least 3 months before they can mount a coordinated response." This intelligence was immediately relayed to Earth, where Dr. Yun Su was analyzing the psychological impact of humanity's strikes. Her assessment was even more encouraging than the military reports. "The aliens are experiencing something they have never dealt with before," she explained to Admiral Hyun Woo during their secure communication session. "For thousands of years, galactic conflicts have been predictable affairs. Slow escalations, formal declarations, conventional tactics. We have broken every rule they understand about how wars are supposed to work." On the crystalline confederation's capital world, Archon Melthera was meeting with representatives from 17 different species. The topic was the same everywhere: how to respond to humanity's unprecedented aggression. "The humans have violated every principle of galactic law," declared Ambassador Zekthor of the Plasma States. "They attacked civilian targets, ignored diplomatic immunity, and used weapons of mass destruction in populated systems." Archon Melthara activated a holographic display showing the damage reports from all attacked systems. "Actually, if you examine the targeting data carefully, you will see that human weapons were remarkably precise. They destroyed military installations while avoiding civilian casualties almost entirely." This observation sent a chill through the assembled diplomats. It meant that humanity's attacks were not the product of primitive rage, but of careful planning and sophisticated military doctrine. Ambassador Zekthor tried to maintain his aggressive stance. "Regardless of their precision, the humans must be punished for this aggression. If we allow them to get away with attacking galactic forces, it will encourage other rebellious species." "And how do you propose we punish them?" asked Archon Melthara. "They have demonstrated the ability to strike anywhere in our territory without warning. They possess defensive technology that renders our weapons ineffective. They have turned our own communication networks into weapons against us." That last point was particularly troubling. Dr. Min Seo's quantum viruses had infected galactic communication systems during the attacks, allowing humans to monitor alien military planning in real time. Every strategy session, every fleet movement, Every tactical decision was being observed by human intelligence. Captain Ji-won was coordinating this intelligence gathering from her position aboard a stealth ship hidden in the Nexari system. Intelligence Director So Young, we now have complete access to 17 different alien military networks. They are discussing response options, but they cannot agree on a unified strategy. What are their primary concerns? So Young asked. From her command center on the moon. They are afraid, Ji-won replied simply. For the first time in galactic history, a species has demonstrated the ability to project military power across multiple star systems simultaneously. They do not know how to defend against an enemy that can appear anywhere at any time. This fear was evident in the emergency session of the Galactic Defense Council, where military leaders from across the galaxy were trying to develop a response to humanity's capabilities. Fleet Admiral Trakven of the United Sectors stood before a holographic map showing human attack patterns. The question is not whether we can defeat the humans in a conventional engagement. The question is whether we can force them into a conventional engagement at all. General Mordax of the Hive Collective nodded agreement. Their dimensional manipulation technology makes traditional fleet tactics obsolete. We cannot defend fixed positions against enemies who can bypass our defenses entirely. Admiral Krexdor, participating via secure communication from Nexari Prime, added his own concerns. More troubling is their adaptability. During our engagement, human forces modified their tactics in real time based on our responses. Their ships showed damage, then continued fighting with reduced capability rather than withdrawing. Their soldiers improvised solutions to problems we had never seen them encounter before. Dr. Yunsu had predicted this confusion. Her psychological profiles of galactic species had identified their greatest weakness. They had become comfortable with predictable, doctrine-based warfare. Human unpredictability was not just a tactical advantage. It was a psychological weapon that paralyzed enemy decision-making. The evidence of this paralysis was mounting throughout the galaxy. 3 separate alien fleets had been assembled to respond to human aggression, but none of them had moved beyond their staging areas. Their commanders could not agree on tactics for fighting an enemy that broke all the rules of conventional warfare. Commander Sung Min was taking advantage of this confusion to conduct follow-up operations. His Special Forces teams, now equipped with captured alien technology, were conducting reconnaissance missions deep in enemy territory. Sir, we have confirmed that the Nexari are attempting to develop countermeasures to our quantum phase technology, reported Sergeant Hyojin from inside a captured research facility. But their progress is extremely slow. They are trying to understand principles that took our best scientists 3 years to develop. How slow is extremely slow? Sung Min asked. Conservative estimate? 5 to 10 years before they can deploy effective countermeasures. And that assumes they can duplicate our computational methods, which they cannot. This timeline gave humanity a significant strategic advantage. While the aliens struggled to understand quantum phase technology, human engineers were already developing improvements and new applications. Engineer Wu Jin was overseeing the reverse engineering of captured alien equipment. Admiral Hyunwoo, we have successfully analyzed the Nexari shield systems. Dr. Min Seo believes she can develop weapons that are specifically designed to overload their power grids. How long? Hyunwoo asked. 2 weeks for the first prototypes. 1 month for full deployment across the fleet. Meanwhile, Captain Hei Rin was monitoring alien fleet movements from her expanded observation post, which now included captured alien monitoring stations. Admiral, the enemy is showing signs of coordination failure. 3 different species are moving fleets toward human space, but they are not communicating with each other about tactics or timing. This lack of coordination was exactly what humanity had hoped for. The galactic powers were so shocked by human capabilities that they could not organize an effective response. Each species was trying to develop its own solution to the human problem, rather than working together. Dr. Yun Su's analysis confirmed this assessment. The aliens' greatest strength, their long experience with stable galactic politics, has become their greatest weakness. They know how to manage gradual diplomatic crises, but they have no experience with revolutionary. 3 months after humanity's first strike, the galaxy finally managed to organize a response. The combined fleets of 17 species gathered at Kepler Station, the largest military installation in the known galaxy. Admiral Krexdor of the Nixari Federation commanded the coalition force, which included over 2,000 ships and the most experienced crews the galaxy had to offer. The aliens had spent these 3 months developing new tactics and technologies specifically designed to counter human capabilities. They believed they had found ways to neutralize quantum phase weapons and track dimensional manipulation technology. Most importantly, they had convinced themselves that humanity's initial success was the result of surprise, not superior military capability. Admiral Hyun-woo received intelligence reports about the coalition fleet from Captain Tae-won's reconnaissance units. The numbers were impressive. 2,000 alien ships versus humanity's fleet of just over 300 vessels. Under normal circumstances, it would have been a hopeless battle for the humans, but these were not normal circumstances. Dr. Min Seo, report on our new weapons systems, Hyun-woo requested from the bridge of the Terran Defiance. All ships are now equipped with Mark III quantum phase weapons, she replied from her position at the science station. These are specifically designed to overload Nexari shield systems. We have also deployed quantum cascade torpedoes that can damage multiple targets simultaneously by existing in parallel dimensions. Engineer Woo Jin added his report. Ship manufacturing has reached full capacity. We are now producing replacement vessels faster than the aliens can destroy them. Our automated shipyards can complete a frigate-class warship every 18 hours. This production capability was something the galaxy had never seen before. While alien shipyards focused on building perfect vessels that would last for centuries, human facilities produced ships that were designed to be effective, replaceable, and quickly upgradable with new technology. Commander Sung Min was preparing his special forces for what would be the largest deep strike operation in human history. Admiral, all infiltration teams are in position. We have operatives aboard 12 of the enemy's command ships, including Admiral Krexdor's flagship. The infiltration had been accomplished using quantum phase technology that allowed human soldiers to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. They could move through solid matter, remain invisible to sensors, and strike without warning from positions that should have been impossible to reach. Captain Ji-hai was commanding the assault group that would engage the coalition fleet directly. Her ships were equipped with the latest human innovations: adaptive armor that could repair itself during battle, modular weapon systems that could be reconfigured in real time, and AI-assisted tactical systems that could process battlefield information faster than any alien computer. All ships report ready for combat, Ji-hai announced. We are significantly outnumbered, but our technological advantages should compensate for the numerical disparity. Dr. Yun-su had been studying the psychological profiles of the coalition commanders. The aliens have convinced themselves that Their numerical superiority guarantees victory. They are planning to overwhelm us with coordinated attacks from multiple directions, but their coordination depends on communication systems that we have already compromised. Intelligence Director. So Young confirmed this assessment. Captain Jiwan's cyber warfare teams have complete access to the enemy's tactical networks. We can monitor their battle plans in real time and disrupt their communications at will. The Battle of Kepler Station began when the Coalition fleet moved to attack human positions in the system. Admiral Krexdor had deployed his forces in a classic pincer formation, designed to trap the human fleet between two massive attack groups. What he did not know was that the human fleet he was attacking was mostly composed of holographic projections. The real human ships were using quantum phase technology to remain in parallel dimensions until the moment of attack. "Execute Phase 1, Admiral Hyun-woo ordered. Captain Ji-Hai's ships materialized directly in the center of the Coalition formation, their weapons already firing. The aliens found themselves facing enemies that had appeared inside their defensive perimeter, attacking from positions that their sensors showed as empty space. The psychological impact was immediate. Coalition ship commanders who had been confident in their overwhelming numbers suddenly found human vessels appearing next to them without warning. Their carefully planned formation dissolved into chaos as individual ships tried to respond to threats that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Commander Sung-min's infiltration teams struck at the same moment. Human soldiers appeared on the bridges of Coalition command ships, disabling critical systems and capturing key personnel. Admiral Krexdor himself found his flagship's command center invaded by humans who had somehow walked through the ship's armor as if it were not there. "How is this possible?" Krexdor demanded as Sergeant Yo-jin secured the bridge. "Our scanners detected no intruders." "Your scanners cannot detect objects that exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously," Yo-jin replied as she disabled the ship's communication systems. "This is why containing humanity was a mistake. You gave us 3 years to develop technology you cannot understand." The battle quickly turned into a demonstration of human tactical superiority. Coalition ships fired at targets that phased out of existence before their weapons could strike. Human vessels that were damaged continued fighting with reduced capability. Rather than withdrawing, using modular systems to reroute power and maintain combat effectiveness. Most devastating to alien morale was humanity's use of quantum cascade weapons. A single torpedo fired by Captain Dal-Su's ship struck a Vorthak cruiser, then phased into parallel dimensions to simultaneously damage 5 other vessels in the same general area. The aliens had never seen weapons that could attack multiple targets at once from a single firing point. "Sir, Coalition forces are requesting reinforcements," reported Captain Hay-Rin from her monitoring station. "They are taking heavy casualties and cannot effectively target our ships." Admiral Hyun-woo studied the tactical display. The Coalition fleet was not just losing the battle, it was being systematically dismantled by an enemy that fought in ways they could not comprehend or counter. Dr. Min Seo activated her latest innovation, quantum virus weapons that could be transmitted through the aliens' own communication networks. As Coalition ships tried to coordinate their response to human attacks, their computer systems became infected with programs that turned their own weapons against them. Multiple Coalition vessels are reporting system malfunctions. Intelligence, Director So-young announced. Their weapons are locking onto friendly targets and their navigation systems are providing false position data. The final blow came when Captain Taewan's Ghost Fleet emerged from quantum phase hiding around Kepler Station itself. The massive military installation found itself under attack by ships that had been hiding in its own structure for weeks, gathering intelligence and placing explosive charges on critical systems. Kepler Station's primary reactor is overloading, reported Engineer Wu Jin. The aliens are evacuating their command facility. Admiral Krextor, now a prisoner aboard his own flagship, watched in stunned silence as the Coalition's greatest military installation was destroyed by enemies who had been invisible to every sensor and security system. "You have turned our own technology against us," he said to Sergeant Hyo Jin. "How did you learn to manipulate our system so completely?" "We had 3 years to study everything you built," she replied. "While you assumed we were helpless inside our containment, we were learning. Every alien probe that entered our system, every communication signal you sent, every piece of technology you thought was secure, we analyzed all of it." The Battle of Kepler Station ended with the Coalition fleet in full retreat. Over 400 alien ships had been destroyed or captured, while human losses numbered fewer than 20 vessels. More importantly, the battle had demonstrated that humanity's initial victories were not due to surprise or luck, but to genuine technological and tactical superiority. President Mi-young addressed the galaxy from Earth, her message transmitted through the same communication networks that had just been used to cripple the Coalition fleet. 3 months ago, we offered the galaxy a choice, she said. Accept humanity as equal partners in galactic civilization or face the consequences of continued hostility. Today, those consequences have been demonstrated. The holographic image of Mi-young appeared on screens throughout alien space, broadcast through their own communication systems. The age of dismissal is over. Earth claims equal standing in galactic affairs. We seek neither domination nor submission. We demand recognition as sovereign equals with rights of expansion, trade, and self-determination. Admiral Hyun-woo's image appeared alongside the president's. The Coalition fleet has been defeated. Kepler Station has been destroyed. Your most advanced military technology has proven ineffective against human innovations. This is not the end of our capabilities. It is a demonstration of what happens when you force humanity to choose between freedom and extinction. Dr. Min Seo's final revelation sent shockwaves through alien leadership across the galaxy. We have achieved complete. 6 months after the Battle of Kepler Station, the Galactic Council convened for what would be remembered as the most important session in galactic history. The same crystal chamber where humanity had once been dismissed now hosted Ambassador Tae-min as a full representative, flanked by Admiral Hyun-woo and Dr. Min Seo as visible reminders of Earth's new status. The chamber was different now. Where once it had hummed with the confident chatter of species secure in their superiority, there was now an uncomfortable silence. Representatives who had voted for humanity's containment avoided eye contact with the human delegation. The air itself seemed heavy with the weight of recent events. Council Prime Vextar rose from his throne, his golden metal form less imposing than it had been 3 years earlier. His voice, once filled with authority, now carried a note of careful respect. "We convene today to address the changed circumstances in our galaxy," he began. "Recent events have demonstrated that our previous assessment of the human species was incomplete." Ambassador Tae-min stood to address the council. His voice was calm and measured, but everyone present could feel the power behind his words. 3 years ago, this council dismissed humanity as unworthy of galactic civilization. You sentenced us to containment, threatened us with relocation, and murdered our civilians when we tried to comply with your demands. The chamber remained silent. No one attempted to justify or defend the council's previous actions. Today, we return not as supplicants seeking your approval, but as equals demanding recognition, Tae-min continued. Humanity has proven that we possess the technology, the military capability, and the strategic thinking necessary to defend our interests and protect our people. Admiral Hyun Woo stepped forward. The coalition fleet that was assembled to enforce your will has been destroyed. Your most advanced military installations have been captured or eliminated. Your communication networks are under constant human surveillance. The galaxy's military balance has permanently shifted. Intelligence reports had confirmed this shift. In the months following Kepler Station, 3 more alien species had requested protection from traditional galactic powers. They had seen humanity's capabilities and realized that Earth offered something the established order could not: the ability to protect smaller species from exploitation by galactic empires. Dr. Yoon Soo had predicted this development in her psychological analyses. The galaxy's rigid hierarchy has been maintained by fear and technological superiority, she had explained to President Mi Young. By demonstrating that superior technology can be developed by any species willing to think differently, we have broken the foundations of the entire system. Council Prime Vextar activated a holographic display showing territorial changes throughout the galaxy. The Council recognizes that humanity has established sovereign control over 17 star systems and achieved defensive alliances with 12 additional species. These territorial claims are acknowledged. The word acknowledged carried enormous weight. It meant that the Galactic Council was formally recognizing humanity's right to exist as an independent power, something they had never granted to a species so young. Dr. Min Seo spoke next, her voice carrying the authority of Earth's scientific establishment. Human technological development will continue. We will share selected innovations with species that recognize our sovereignty and respect our territorial claims. We will not share technology with species that continue to view humanity as a threat to be contained. This announcement sent ripples of concern through the alien delegates. Humanity's quantum phase technology and dimensional manipulation capabilities represented advances that could revolutionize galactic civilization. Being excluded from access to these innovations would leave traditional powers at a permanent disadvantage. Commander Sung-min entered the chamber, escorting a group of alien prisoners who had been captured during various human operations. Among them was Admiral Krexdor, the former commander of the Coalition fleet. These individuals have been studying human military methods during their captivity, Sung-min announced. They have gained a new appreciation for the capabilities they once dismissed as impossible. Admiral Krexdor stepped forward when gestured to speak. His 4 arms moved in a gesture of formal acknowledgement as he addressed the council. I led the largest military coalition in galactic history against humanity, he said. Our fleet outnumbered human forces by more than 6 to 1. We possessed technology that had dominated the galaxy for millennia. We had every advantage except the one that mattered most. We did not understand what we were fighting. His glowing eyes swept across the assembled delegates. Humanity does not fight the way we fight. They do not think the way we think. They adapt to circumstances we cannot predict and respond to threats using methods we cannot counter. They have mastered technologies we dismissed as impossible and developed strategies we never considered. The Nexari Admiral paused, allowing his words to sink in. Most importantly, they never stopped learning from us while we dismissed them as primitives. Every probe we sent into their system, every communication we transmitted, every defensive position we established, they studied it all and turned our own knowledge against us. Captain Tae Wan had been monitoring alien reactions throughout the session. His Ghost Fleet ships remained invisible in the system, a reminder that humanity could strike anywhere at any time without warning. The psychological effect was exactly what Earth's leadership had intended. Engineer Wu Jin presented the Council with a demonstration of human manufacturing capabilities. Holographic displays showed Earth's industrial output, which now exceeded the combined production of 3 major galactic powers. Human manufacturing philosophy differs fundamentally from galactic norms, he explained. Where you build perfect ships designed to last centuries, we build effective ships designed to win battles. Where you create single perfect solutions, we create multiple good solutions and improve them through constant iteration. The demonstration showed human shipyards producing a complete frigate every 18 hours, while equivalent alien facilities required months to complete similar vessels. The implications were staggering. In any prolonged conflict, humanity could replace losses faster than their enemies could inflict them. Captain Ji-wan revealed the extent of human intelligence penetration throughout galactic space. We currently monitor communication networks in 43 star systems. We have real-time access to military planning sessions, economic negotiations, and political discussions across the galaxy. The information advantage we gained during our containment period has become permanent. This announcement caused visible distress among the alien delegates. The idea that their most secret discussions might be monitored by humans was deeply unsettling to species that had grown comfortable with their privacy and security. Dr. Yun-Su addressed the psychological impact of humanity's emergence as a galactic power. For thousands of years, galactic civilization has been based on predictable hierarchies and stable technologies. Species knew their place in the order and accepted gradual, incremental change. Humanity has demonstrated that this stability was an illusion. She gestured toward data displays showing political upheaval throughout alien space. 17 species have now challenged their traditional overlords, inspired by humanity's example. The rigid galactic hierarchy is dissolving as smaller species realize they do not have to accept domination by ancient empires. President Mi Young's image appeared on the chamber's main display, transmitted from Earth. The galaxy stands at a crossroads, she announced. You can adapt to the new reality of human equality and benefit from partnership with Earth, or you can continue to resist change and face the consequences of irrelevance. The president's next words carried the weight of humanity's demonstrated military capabilities. Earth offers trade, technology exchange, and mutual defense agreements to species that recognize our sovereignty. We also offer protection to smaller species threatened by traditional galactic powers. What we will not tolerate is any attempt to return to the status quo that treated humanity as an inferior species worthy only of containment. Council Prime Vextar looked around the chamber at his fellow delegates. The silence was deafening. No species was willing to publicly oppose humanity's demands, not after seeing what had happened to the Coalition fleet. The Council hereby formally recognizes the Terran Federation as a sovereign galactic power with full rights of expansion, trade, and self-determination, Vextar announced. The containment protocols previously imposed on humanity are permanently revoked. Earth is granted full membership in galactic civilization with all associated privileges and responsibilities. The words echoed through the chamber like the closing of a historical era. For the first time in galactic history, a species had gone from dismissal to equality through force of arms and technological innovation. Ambassador Tai Min stood to deliver humanity's response. Earth accepts recognition as an equal partner in galactic civilization. We look forward to productive relationships with species that share our commitment to mutual respect and peaceful coexistence. He paused, allowing his next words to carry maximum impact. However, let the galaxy understand that humanity will never again accept containment, dismissal, or treatment.